stay. I'm here to stay.
Out again, Dean Holden's Addicts are at last back in action. The Peterborough postponement stopped us in our tracks. But today the lads have the opportunity to make it 4 league wins in a row for the first time since October 2020. It won't be easy though, as standing in our way are Bolton Wanderers, who currently sit 5th in the table. Bolton recorded a 1-0 victory over Forest Green on Tuesday, a game that was not short of controversy. A leading scorer, Dion Charles, got the only goal after just 6 minutes, but was ridiculously sent off 20 minutes later in a case of mistaken identity. Bolton held on to record maximum points though, and will look to keep that healthy gap between themselves and the playoff chasing pack. Lots to come, as ever, here on Charlton TV. We will hear exclusively from manager Dean Holden, who I spoke to a little earlier. The club's official LGBTQIA+ supporters groups, the Proud Valiants, have met the women's and men's team squads in the last week. And just after midday, we'll hear from group members Rob Harris and Sam Clark in what is the club's first ever Football versus Homophobia week. And we'll also hear from new signing Matt Penny, who has had a week to settle into life at Charlton after joining the club last weekend. Delighted to say we do have the dream team back with me, Curbs and Brownie. Curbs, back from your holiday. Look, before we touch on that, first of all, rise and shine for both of us. It's an early start, isn't it?
Absolutely.
What is the time in Barbados right now, Curbs?
Well, it's 4 hours behind, so just be getting up, I think, or getting in.
So we'll just be getting our first picture in by the pool.
Nice holiday. We
Yeah,
did get some photos, didn't we? The most annoying one for me was the one where it was like a picture of him with his feet, clearly, and then in the background there's a swim. Was it the pool or was it the beach as well?
Pool, yeah. I thought you'd like that one.
I loved it.
Did you notice the way the feet was like that?
Yeah.
Or like that. What way was they? Left or right?
I just thought you're one move away from stretching your calf off, though, aren't you?
From pulling his calf. You had a good time though, yeah?
No, it was good. Yeah, came back yesterday morning, so it was a little bit cold when we got back. But
I bet.
and I've left the missus indoors. I think she's looking at a brochure again. So
I thought you said Ginge wasn't happy with how hot it was out there.
yeah, but it don't stop her now. It doesn't stop her going to these hot places. She just got that in. You know, I'll go. Why are we here?
We're next somewhere really hot.
You're like me though, Curbs. I'll be right by the pool the whole time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then,
But,
having a few pina coladas.
And also, I found one of the bars had Premier League football. Didn't have no Charlton games on, but it had Premier League football. So I used to sneak off.
Well, I was going to ask you, obviously it's a shambles what happened last week with Peterborough, but I thought you'd be round the pool with your Charlton TV match pass and all ready to watch it.
No, I wasn't allowed. Even though the 4 hour difference, I could have got away with it, I think.
It is nice to have a game though, Brownie, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, last week was a farce, wasn't it?
It got called off really late, didn't it?
Yeah, they didn't release it on their Twitter feed till about 1:35.
Less than 90 minutes
Yeah,
before.
Well, a lot of the fans are already there.
all there, pretty much. And if they weren't there, they were
On their way, yeah.
mid-journey, yeah. So just a shambles, really. The chairman's come out and apologised and said he'll pay for people that can't make the return, but still,
The Peterborough
that's
chairman,
not. Yeah, it's not really good enough in terms of you could have checked that pitch at 8 o'clock, and I think the way Dean Holden was speaking about how hard it was, you could have made an assessment at 8, no problem. It was a
You
shambles,
do
really.
know that pitches and pitches.
Yeah.
There's we used to have the trouble because of the stand. You know, it always used to be this side, didn't it? So you know if it's going to be in doubt, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it does feel like it's been a little while since we last played, as much as it feels like a little while since we saw you, Curbs. But, it has been 3 league wins on the spin. Is it difficult to sort of pick up and carry on where you were, or how do you see it?
No, I think it's probably worked in Dean's favour a little bit because you've had that 3 wins, decent performance at Old Trafford and etc. and a lot of praise because of it. And then he's had 2 weeks now to have a chat. It's not all rushing. As I've been reading, he's been having a lot of one-to-ones with the players, and especially the players that are not playing. I mean, that's important because it has been quite a settled side, I think. And so players are now looking at it going, even if the result ain't that good, he might stick the same team out because they've done so well previously. So he's been talking to a lot of the fringe players, as you normally have to every now and then.
They missed that. I don't think they got that shot. That's such a shame because that was one of your better ones.
That was one of your better ones. The timing was very good.
No, you can't
very
go.
good.
You can't go.
Say it again, Curbs.
Honestly,
No, you can't go. You can't go.
You know when they blindside you a bit, you know, you get a right hook.
You can't go.
That might have floored me, that.
No, listen, you can't go out on loan, Brownie. You're needed.
You're needed on the bench to warm it up. Sit next to me.
No, but he's took time to get to know the squad, I think, especially the ones that ain't playing.
Yeah, and final one to you, Brownie, as well. I mean, look, we beat Barnsley last time out. They were 6th, Bolton are 5th.
Yeah.
Another difficult game today. Will it tell us exactly where we are again, do you feel, after this?
I don't think it'll tell us exactly where we are, because this is a tough one. I mean, they're a strange side in as much as they're very, very difficult to break down. Second best clean sheet record in the league. I think eight of the last 10 clean sheets. That's incredible. 50% in league games they've managed to keep a clean sheet, which is astonishing numbers. But they've only won 4 of their last 13 away games. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. But this is a good side, good footballing side. Keep possession well. You know, we've just done some stuff over in the Charlton TV lounge, and I said out of possession is going to be important today. Our shape behind the ball. I think if we can get a good shape behind the ball, disrupt them like we did at Portsmouth higher up the pitch when they're split to play, we might have a bit of joy. But this is a tough one. This is tougher than Barnsley.
One we're looking forward to, and Dean says just that. Curbs, great to see you. Glad you're back. Hasn't been quite the same. So we'll see how
Who took my
today goes.
place? Oh, no, the game got called off, didn't it?
Yeah. And then the one before that, I can't even remember. It's too long ago. Anyway, let's hear from manager Dean Holden, who I spoke to a little bit earlier pitchside. Dean, back at the Valley after a couple of weeks of not playing. Does it feel like it's been a long time? And how disappointing was that postponement, considering the form we were and still technically are in?
Yeah, it has been a couple. Yeah, if you think about it, it's coming back here today, first time in a fortnight since that good win against Barnsley. I talk to the players all the time about boxing things and dealing with what's in front of us, and it's important to me as the front man or whatever you want to call me that I do that as well. But I've got to keep it in the box, because if I allow it to come out, it's going to wind me up again. There was things that went on that weren't acceptable. I've seen their statement. Okay, we move forward. So no, it's been a good week. We've had a good week with the group, a week to work with Matt Penny, obviously, which we wouldn't have got if he was due to play last Saturday. So take the positives.
So tell us about the team then. How do we line up? And is it similar to what the team would have been last week?
Yeah, same team as what was going to be. So Ash in goal. We've got Sean Clare right back, Innes, Ness, Matt Penny in for his debut at left back. We've got Dobson, Morgan, Fraser in the middle, with Raksaki off the right, Corey Blackett-Taylor off the left, and Macaulay Bonne up down the middle. It's the team other than obviously Matt Penny in the left back, which is enforced in terms of Todd getting injured, and obviously Macaulay comes in to take the load off Miles Leaburn. It's the team that we went with at Portsmouth and at Lincoln. So I feel it's a team that can give us the energy that we need, but also the quality to tackle a good Bolton team, but give them problems.
You just touched on the two players, Matt and Macaulay as well. Have they shown to you in training that they're more than ready?
Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah, I mean, Matt was going to play last week purely because I wanted to get him in for the start, left-footed defender. But he's shown this week in training what a good player he is. He's settled in really well. It's never easy, Scott. You remember that? It's never easy, is it? I talked about what it was like coming in as a manager. It's never easy as a player. You're trying to impress your teammates. You're trying to get to grips with the club and all that. So it's a bit of a whirlwind. But Matt, I spoke about his temperament when we signed him, and he's a really level-headed lad. So now I expect him to come in today and slot in perfectly.
Yeah, in an ideal world, you want to come in at the start of pre-season and take your time. It's not an ideal world we live in, so I'm sure he'll do very well anyway, and Macaulay as well. Today is an early kick-off. Talk about what I remember. I didn't like having pasta at 9 o'clock in the morning.
I just spoke about that in there, pasta and salmon. It's institutionalised football. You know what they're like, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, does it affect preparation in any way whatsoever?
Not really. No, I don't think so. I think the players are used to it nowadays. You've got to remember they're coming into training. We normally start on the grass around 10:30, 11 o'clock for training sessions. So this shouldn't be any different. You've got to get your sleep pattern a little bit differently, I suppose. But no, there's no excuses with that. We're happy to be in front of the cameras. We want to show the best of ourselves, like we did, I suppose, up at Old Trafford. Yeah,
and tell us about Bolton. One of your former clubs, of course. They're in the playoff places. They're wanting to finish at least there come the end of the season. Tough game, this.
Yeah, it's probably Barnsley was a tough game. Probably the toughest game I've had. So, coming as manager, Ian's had him for a couple of years now. Some success with a promotion. There's a lot of good feeling around, Bolton at the moment in terms of the way that they play. They've got a distinct style of play. They've had time to work with that. So we know where their strengths are. They signed 2 players quite late yesterday that we're obviously aware of. So we don't quite know what the starting team's going to be. 1 or 2 injury issues as well. So for us, it's about focusing on us. We know where their strengths are. They are a good team. There's no getting away from that. But equally, every team's got its weaknesses, hasn't it? And the players, again, are well aware of them. And I'd like to think, certainly in them wide areas, the pace that we've got, they excite me. Whenever we get the ball to them on transition, I just get out of my seat and I'm like, come on, let's see what we can do. So, yeah, there'll be gaps there today. We need to exploit them.
You're one of thousands who get off the seat when they get on the ball. Just finally, Charlton-Bolton can be a bit of a feisty game. There was a game back in, what was it, February 2000, where someone got sent off.
Good tackle, wasn't it? It's probably a red card nowadays, isn't it? It was a little bit too
I can't remember who
funny.
it was now. But how important is it that the players keep their focus? And have you had a joke about that at all? Or have the lads had a joke with you about it?
No, I've not heard. I've not spoken. To be honest, it's been a bit like the Dean Holden show for the last couple of weeks. I'm trying to sort of steer the attention away to the players. But no, the players are well aware. They need to. It's not the Bolton that we used to. It's not the Bolton that I played for anyway. In terms of the physicality, they're a lovely passing team. So, if anything, we can hopefully get the upper hand in terms of our physical attributes today.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Brilliant to hear from Dean. I just think he's got a great blend of having a bit of a joke and being relaxed, but also realising you don't mess with him and you've got to do what he says. Before we have a look at today's team, let's have a look at that incident back in February 2000. It was an FA Cup 6th round tie. Bolton had just gone 1-0 up in the 47th minute, and then Dean flies into this tackle on John Robinson. Brownie, you played in this game.
Yeah,
Do you remember it?
Yeah,
That's a great tackle, that, isn't
It's
it?
a brilliant tackle. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
But then he does this.
Yeah,
So don't look at the ball.
yeah.
There we go. Look with the square. I mean, to be fair, Robbo could pick a fight in a phone box, really, couldn't he?
Well, he
But
argues his own shadow, doesn't he, Robbo? Let's be honest. The only mistake he's made there, Dean, is he hasn't made full contact. Should have proper nutted him, really.
The only mistake
If you're going to get sent off, then you might as well go full
The
nut.
only
Yeah.
mistake he's made is the ref's 3 yards away, looking at him.
do you know what? You're absolutely right there, Curbs. That was the big problem. Robbo didn't like the tackle, did he?
It wasn't a good
You
tackle.
clearly
was
see.
it?
Well, he learned to jump high. He had to. Because the amount he verbal fullbacks, he was always going to get a chance.
Can we see
like
it
that.
again?
Yeah, we
The
can see
tackle.
There's only
again,
one
yeah.
winger I think jumped higher than him. That was Colin Powell.
That's a great tackle.
Yeah,
I like
it's a
that one.
super tackle.
Oh, he trod on his hand, didn't he? Robbo?
Yeah, I think Robbo's just tried to give a little bit after.
Robbo trod on his hand, I
Yeah.
think. Just got him there.
And then you're right in front of the referee.
Yeah, look. Watch the ref turn around now.
I mean, the referee could have turned around to the
Look,
right.
he's look,
He's turned
look,
around
look,
to the
look.
left and just seen that there, hasn't he?
Yeah.
There's not a lot in that, though.
He
is
might have
there?
heard what Robbo said, the ref.
He might have done. Just one final thing as well. Pre-match, you talked about pasta
Yeah.
and salmon.
Pasta and salmon. Bacon toasty. Don't understand it. Never used to affect me.
Did you know that?
I had 3
One
hours
of your
in.
key players had
I
a
knew
bacon
things that I
toasty.
just
Oi,
let go,
oi.
but
I had 4 hours to digest it. I was only coming on late in the game, so.
we've just been over there talking in the lounge, and Brownie came up with some words I didn't quite understand, because once again he was going
No,
the high press
No, I wasn't.
and
Nah.
the group.
Trying to be new
And,
school,
yeah,
is he?
yeah, yeah. And I like that Dean ain't. That Dean talks like me and you, Scott,
He won't like that.
and he don't. He
won't
will.
like that.
No, he does. No,
He
'cause
does.
He wants to blend. He wants to be known as a new age,
Well, I think
but with a
that's what
bit
I
of the
said,
old
didn't I?
age.
He's got the right blend, and I genuinely
Absolutely, yeah.
mean it between old school
I
and
actually
new
understand
school.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't think I do speak like that.
Was it low block and
No,
all that stuff?
no.
I said
None of that.
no, but I
I
said
think he
to-
just picked on me because
Right.
my first joke of the day was, have they not got any barbers in Barbados? And he's not left me alone since.
Right.
He has not left me alone since.
He's gone off about high press, set a trap.
Oh, I did
Set
say
a
that. I said set trap.
Overloads.
Let's
No,
set a
I didn't
trap,
say
right?
that. Set a
So
trap.
then I said, what's wrong?
did say set a
What's
trap.
wrong? We're getting tight, show him inside, make a tackle.
There's nothing wrong with any of that.
That's too old school now, Kurt.
There's nothing wrong with
it. It's to the point,
It
though.
means exactly the same thing.
Absolutely,
but,
yeah.
You know what?
Anyway, let's move on, shall we?
We're 5 over now. I said I'd
We
affect
are
that.
well over. And let's get to what actually people want to know, and that is the team, of course. And Dean mentioned it. But it is 4 changes from the Barnsley match. Albie and Corey back in. Matt Penny makes his debut. Macaulay Bonne makes his second full debut as well. So we've got Miles on the bench, a strong bench, Curbs. Thoughts on that? 4-3-3?
Well, yeah, I mean, what I like about it is them 2 wide men, because I think that, you know, when they're on top of their game, they can cause anyone problems. And if we can get the ball to them in the final third, interested in the Macaulay Bonne selection. I think Dean said he would have played anyway if the game hadn't been postponed. So perhaps it's because, as Brownie mentioned over the other side about the medical department, they may have looked at Miles and gone, well, he just perhaps needs a little break and, you know, be fresh when he comes on, etc. But it's just for me, it's just quite a settled side, isn't it? It's a settled side. I didn't understand the injury to the players at left back, but we've got covered there. Look, Sessegnon there, so.
Yeah, Todd was unlucky. He was meant to be right back. Stephen Sessegnon got injured in the warm-up. He went to left back and he didn't even last half time because he's done his hamstring. He's out for a few weeks. So Matt Penny comes in at left back. Brownie, thoughts on the team?
Yeah, I think you've got a front three there that can press, a back line.
Traps?
So, it's a midfield that really will set the traps. Yeah,
high press there?
Yeah, no, none of that. I mean, I'm scared to say anything now.
Well, I won't stop you.
Well, no one can, Curb. No one can once they get going. Right, but no, I think you've got great energy behind that in Morgan. He can join that front three to make a four to put pressure on physically. Fraser's intelligence, so if he's communicating well, they will be able to set traps. and Dobson offers that protection in the front. But yeah, I think, I've said it already, but I think it's out of possession is going to be key today, Scotty. They're going to keep the ball well, as they always do. Yeah. They're very hard to break down, and the higher up we can win possession of the ball, I think the more chance it gives us.
Yeah, big day for Macaulay and Matt, of course. Let's go to the league table now, shall we? And well, it looked good a couple of weeks ago, but we started in the bottom half. That's where we are now. That's because some clubs have played twice since we were last in action, and we've dropped to 15th. A win today could see us rise to 10th, though. MK Dons picked up a big win at Forest Green to lift themselves out of the relegation zone, and MK have since lost at home to Shrewsbury, just a point now above the drop zone at present. Forest Green parted ways with manager Ian Purchinall on Wednesday, and Curbs, just got to get your quick thoughts. Duncan Ferguson, their new man, at Forest Green, and the 4 points off getting out of safety, having played 3 games more, and that's his first game in charge. The jolly big green giant.
Yeah, well, I don't think he'd be talking about traps and high press.
He might. He was up in the Premier League assisting some very, very good managers.
It's good because
he's done it all.
Yeah,
he's done it all.
He's desperate for a chance.
Yes.
And that's a bit desperate where they are, but, he can turn that around. Got enough games.
OK, let's get into the top half now. Shrewsbury and Portsmouth rose 4 and 5 places respectively on Tuesday night. The Shrews won at MK, as I said, and Portsmouth beat Fleetwood. That's back-to-back victories for their new manager, John Messina. Wycombe moved to within 2 points of the playoffs by beating Oxford midweek. Ipswich returned to winning ways, thrashing Morecambe 4-0. Derby, Brownie, my mate Warney, made it 5 league wins in a row by scoring twice in the final 3 minutes at Port Vale. And that means that Derby, Sheffield Wednesday, Burnley and ourselves are the only clubs in the EFL with a 100% win record since the turn of the year. Nice record to be part of. If we can win today, then it'll be, as I said earlier, 4 straight wins, first time since October 2020. Really would open up the playoff race. Not necessarily for us yet, but for 4, 5, 6 other clubs there.
Yeah. But we're talking about momentum, and that's what's happening at the moment. And I'm hoping that we get the result today, and the fans start coming back, and we start generating a bit of an atmosphere here. And we are looking, if we get the result today, we are looking at that top 6, as opposed to looking over our shoulder. So I did say before I went away, I think the Lincoln game, Man United took care of itself. It was the Barnsley game, and by hook or by crook, whatever, got the 3 points. And now another home game coming up, so against the top 6 side, so we can make a little bit of a statement today.
I'll tell you what, look at the top 2 there as well. Sheffield Wednesday, if they win that game in hand, both them and Plymouth will be 7 points above Ipswich. That's a healthy gap at this particular time of the season. Let's go to the other fixtures then. It is FA Cup weekend, so there are only 7 other games in League One this afternoon, all of which kick off, of course, after our match is finished. Exeter we face next, travel to MK Dons. Peterborough, who we should have played last weekend, welcome Portsmouth to their stadium. Let's hope they get that one on. Shrewsbury have won 3 in a row, and they host basement club Forest Green at home. And Brownie, 4 of the bottom 7, Burton, Cheltenham, MK Dons and Morecambe, all at home today. It's a massive opportunity for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But, I don't think we have to worry about that so much. I sat here a month or 2 ago and saying, look, we've got to look behind rather than keep looking up. And we've got away from that with a wonderful change in results. But I don't think we necessarily have to worry too much about them. Let them take care of that.
No, I'm not saying that we need to worry about them, but just for them. Just from it's a one point of view.
And I just feel like the sort of bottom 6 are going to be the bottom 6 now. It's the league sort of sorted itself out, and the bottom 6 will be the bottom 6 fighting for 4 spots. But I think the game for me there is the Peterborough Portsmouth one, isn't it? You know,
If it's on.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they can't call it off late again. They get absolutely shot to pieces. But yeah, that's an interesting one. But yeah, I think obviously the Forest Green Rovers one, that everyone will have an eye on that from a media point of view. You know, I think from Duncan's perspective, what does he know about League One and Forest Green Rovers for that matter? He'll be fuming there's no meat down there.
Will he be playing out from the back?
I don't think he will, Curbs. So I think it's a results business for him at this stage of the season.
Moving, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you've got to start somewhere.
Well, he's done everything through the academy. He's been number 2 to a lot of top managers. He's been desperate for a number 1 job, and Forest Green are desperate themselves in the position.
And as I say, you've got to start somewhere. Financially, it won't be a problem to him.
No.
You know, so he's saying I want to be a manager, which is great.
Yeah. Vegan burger, no meat burger.
Not for me.
Right,
It's not for me.
Let's move on, shall we? Get to club news updates, and as always, we'll start with ticketing news. The tickets for our February and March home fixtures against Fleetwood, February the 11th, Sheffield Wednesday, February the 25th, Accrington, March the 11th, and Wickham, March the 25th. They're all Saturdays. And they're now on sale. Remember, seats for all men's first team league matches have been reduced in price following discussions with the club's fan advisors. And you can get your tickets for all of the next 4 home games by visiting booking.cafc.co.uk. We'd like to clarify who can watch today's game live on Charlton TV. If you're outside of England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, Jersey, Guernsey, the Isle of Man or the Republic of Ireland, then you can watch every kick live on Charlton TV today. That is despite the game being shown live on Sky Sports. In previous years, if we had a game live on Sky, then we could only live stream it in the countries that sit outside of the EFL's global television deal. That rule changed at the start of the season, meaning that even if we are live on Sky, which we are today, you can watch also live on Charlton TV. If you're outside of the UK and Ireland, head to cafc.co.uk to get your live stream match pass if you can watch. Over 400 men have already booked up for a PSA blood test here at the Valley ahead of our next home game against Fleetwood on Saturday, February the 11th. The fixture is also the club's annual Men's Health Awareness Day. And as part of the match day, supporters from both clubs can get a PSA blood test at the stadium. The test is a blood test that measures the amount of prostate-specific antigen, that is PSA, in your blood to help diagnose prostate problems, including prostate cancer. In a few minutes' time, we'll be hearing from a father and son who owe their lives to the club's annual testing programme. Only limited spaces available now, so to find out more and to book your test, please visit to cafc.co.uk. .uk even. Midfielder Conor McGrandles has headed out on loan to Cambridge and will stay with them for the rest of the season. Fair to say we probably haven't seen the best of Conor yet, and this move presents him with an opportunity to get some regular football under his belt before returning to the Addicts for the start of pre-season. Good luck, Conor. The Charlton women's team had their Barclays Women's Championship fixture against Lewes postponed on Sunday due to a frozen pitch, but they are hoping to be back in action tomorrow afternoon when they head to AFC Wimbledon in the FA Cup. Karen Hills's Addicts have won the last 6 games in all competitions, but the last 2 fixtures have both been postponed. Blackburn's pitch was waterlogged a fortnight ago, and last week the Oakwoods playing surface was frozen. Hopefully they can get back to it tomorrow, and would like to wish Karen and her squad all the best of luck. And fans can go and support the Addicts at the War Memorial Sports Ground in Charlton tomorrow, with adult tickets priced at just £5 each. And lastly, we are delighted to be joined by a man who can do more step-overs in a minute than Stevie Brown did in his entire career.
Not interested.
It was the wingers that used to do step-overs.
Clear it. Just clear it. You should get a round of applause for heading it back to the keeper.
Look at that.
So you were the Bolton match?
Yeah, big welcome Valley to Jay Rosen. If you're watching on the concourse TVs at the Valley right now, then you'll get to see a special performance from him at half-time. Bit of you with those skills?
It's impressive, that's for sure.
It was impressive.
Yeah.
But as I was watching that, I just started thinking about Peter Kay, because he's a Bolton fan, and he have it.
They don't do that anymore, Bolton.
He was showing a few skills, and he went, have it.
It's a great ad, wasn't it? But can he put his body in front of a goal-bound shot? Can he go in goal at Villa Park, Brownie?
That's why he's doing tricks, no?
Yeah.
Can he
And
set
it's
a
not
trap?
harsh. I can't do those tricks, but I can go and goal at Villa Park.
Can he set a trap
Can he high press?
and do a high press?
Yeah, no, but it should be fun at half-time, so looking forward to seeing that. OK, moving on now. Today is the club's annual Football versus Homophobia match day. Sam Clark and Rob Harris and the Proud Valiants fan group spoke to Charlotte Richardson a little bit earlier this morning.
Today's match day is dedicated to the ongoing Football versus Homophobia campaign. I'm delighted to be joined pitch side by Rob Harris and Sam Clark, members of Proud Valiants, the club's LGBTQI+ supporters group. Thank you both so much for joining us on Charlton TV. Rob, I'll come to you first. It's been a busy week. Tell us what you've been up to.
It has been such a busy week, and it started on Sunday, where we planned to do lots of stuff at the women's match. Unfortunately, it was postponed because of bad weather, so that will happen in a couple of weeks' time. We've had a lot of online seminars talking about different issues that affect the LGBTQI community, and obviously we've got the huge match today that you can see here. We also had the pleasure to go and speak to both the men's team and the women's team. Sam spoke to the women's team, we both spoke to the men's team, all around Football versus Homophobia and the Proud Valiants, which is now in its 8th year, and the work that we do with the club and the community trust.
That's absolutely amazing. Sam, Rob alluded to it there. You did a presentation for both the men's and women's team. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so obviously it's the second year we've done it with the women's team, so it's nice to go back, you know, meet some of the new girls who have signed over the season, catch up with some of the girls from last season. But then obviously with the men's team, this is the first time we've actually managed to get in and do this. It's something that's been in talks for a few years. And I think, you know, the best thing I can do is actually quote the manager, Dean, because he said it best when just before the thing, saying, you know, every year they put on the shirts, they wear the badge, they do whatever it is, and they don't necessarily always know what they're doing it for. And I think us coming in and being able to explain what they're doing it for, tell a little bit about our stories, tell a little bit about the wider concept of football versus homophobia, it really does let them know exactly what they're wearing the shirts for, and, you know, give that little bit of education, a little bit of realness to it, more than just, you know, it's a shirt, it's a brand, whatever else.
Yeah, I love that, because it's not just about raising awareness, it's about raising understanding as well. And it's fantastic to hear of Dean Holden's support. Rob, I understand you're catching up with him ahead of kick-off as well.
We are, apparently. We're going to have a cuppa or some water in my case. And yeah, I mean, I have to say that Dean has absolutely been this year an absolute star. We felt so welcome. The players, you know, were so, you know, engrossed in what we were talking about. And the important thing to get across is, and Dean made this point very clearly, and also Karen has made this point, you know, we work 365 days a year, maybe have Christmas Day off, you know, fighting equality, you know, for equality against racism, homophobia, transphobia, all those kind of things, and it is a full-time job. And, you know, it's just great that we have such a fantastic club, community trust, and the support of, like, Charlton Invicta, University of Greenwich. It really is a Charlton family.
Yeah, and all your hard work is paying off, so thank you for the dedication and time that you put in. Sam, lots of partners have been involved in this week and also throughout the season as well, from the University of Greenwich to Charlton Invicta, the men's, the women's team, all coming together. How important is that sort of partnership and collaboration when it comes to campaigning around football versus homophobia?
I think we talk about the slogan for football versus homophobia is football for all, and that goes through every aspect of the club. It's the community, which Charlton Invicta do so much fantastic work in. It's with the universities, you know, we get so many LGBT people coming out at university, and then maybe they don't know that they can have a football club that they come and support that's local to them, and now we're telling them that through our partnership with the University of Greenwich, and obviously all the fantastic work the club do to put us on that platform, to let us speak to the men's team, let us speak to the women's team, and that one club atmosphere, that family atmosphere, it drives home the point that we're trying to make, that football is for everyone.
It is indeed. Thank you both so much for joining us on Charlton TV. Have a fantastic match day today. Back over to you, Scott, in the studio with Curbs and Brownie.
Thanks, Charlotte. Yeah, great to hear from Sam and Rob there. And I think that last line just says it all, doesn't it? Football is for everyone. Looking ahead to our next home game against Fleetwood on the 11th now, February the 11th. All the men attending who are over 50 can take a PSA blood test before kick-off. Here's why it is absolutely crucial you do.
Hi, my name is Bob and I'm 79 years of age.
Hi, my name's Gary. I'm 52 years old. I'm Bob's son.
We both found out that we had prostate cancer
through attending a Charlton
PSA testing day.
Received so many lovely emails and fans coming up to me, wives sent me flowers, you've just saved my husband's life. And I thought, right, what can we do to stop other families going through what we did?
That was the biggest shock for me, was I was only 51 and I thought I'd be fine, and obviously I wasn't.
I don't know, I'm sat with you both and I just think for your families that you did the test and you're still here and you still see your grandchildren, like you're saying, like how many? 6 of you are season ticket holders.
6 season ticket
You all
holders.
come with your grandchildren.
Oh yes, they all get in one car. We sometimes have 8 in the car, don't we? Yeah. So it's a way of life, Charlton, as far as we're concerned.
I mean, not a lot of things bother me anyway. My friends will always tell you that. I'm quite easygoing. But I was back working 10 days after the operation.
Really?
Yeah, I was a bit gingerly, but because it's keyhole, so you literally, I hadn't got to go for radiotherapy or hormone treatment. It was just keyhole, get it out, and then you just got to quickly heal, and 10 days later I was out working.
I looked back and thought about it on the basis of that leave any dignity at the door, pick it up when you come out, because the alternative could be that you'd lose your life.
Like there's so many things that he's missed out on, and every time it's just, but then you guys, honestly, I can't tell you how much you helped me. It just helps repair it a little bit.
I never thought anything would happen to me. I'm the sort of person, I've never had chicken pox, I've never had measles, I've never had any of the childhood ailments, not one. The worst thing I've ever had before is flu once, and that's the only thing I've ever had.
Men are very good at putting health problems to the back of their minds.
So
and one of the reasons I delayed going was that I didn't have any symptoms. And I thought, well, it can't happen to me. But it can. So I had hormone treatment, not fun, and also radiotherapy. And I now am in a situation where I'm checked out every 6 months, which will go on for 5 years. And if there's no recurrence during that period, then it's more or less accepted that you're cured. So nothing to worry about. Anybody gets the test, there's absolutely nothing to worry about. You'll be in good hands after that. You'll get the treatment that you need, and you'll have the satisfaction of knowing you might have prolonged your own life.
Yeah, great to hear from Tracy, Bob and Gary. There's, of course, fantastic news, both Bob and Gary on the mend. But if you want to watch a longer discussion of that, it is on the website cafc.co.uk. Curbs, I'm trying to get us booked in for the 1 of February. You as well.
Yeah, we done it last time.
We did.
Year, didn't we? Yeah.
It's a simple procedure, isn't it? But one that's absolutely crucial.
It's a simple procedure, and I think because of the pandemic over the last couple of years, men have reluctantly gotten to see their doctor to have a PSA test.
Would you include yourself in that?
No, I was going regular until the pandemic came along. Because you've got to. Yeah, you've got to.
You are.
You've got to. Men have got to go and have that test.
Yeah.
They've got to.
Absolutely, great work that Tracy's done.
That one that Tracy, you know, organises, I did for the first time. So I'm more the person that doesn't go than Curbs goes regularly.
I organised that for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You put me and you in it, and I wouldn't have done it without you doing that.
Quick one, Bodmore's golf day. Bodmore died of cancer, and his wife Stephanie come to the golf day to thank everybody for raising money for the charity. And she stood up on stage and she said it quite bluntly. There's a majority of men here, so I'm going to put it straight. Go to your doctor when you don't feel well, because my Bobby didn't. Right, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
We don't.
Absolutely.
We don't. And
Absolutely.
even the guy there's talking, saying that, you know, he's never been ill. You know, reluctantly have tests.
Yeah, look, the last few spaces are still available. If you haven't already, please do book up now. And a PSA test requires a voluntary donation of £10, but there are additional costs involved. So Tracy Leeburn is fundraising to cover those additional costs. On Thursday, she'll be taking part in an I'm a Celeb eating challenge with manager Dean Holden. Who's going for the pig anus?
Well,
Curbs?
Yeah, I've never
Brownie?
eaten anything like that on the right, but Mrs. Brown's cooking tastes like that on the right.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I couldn't go on that programme for any amount of money.
There's no way your gag reflex is gone on almost any of that. Yeah, I'm useless.
You can tell Curbs and Brownie are back together. We are so far over, so we could go on with that, but we better move on. Fullback Matt Penny joined the club at the end of last week and was due to start against Peterborough, of course, last weekend before that game was postponed. And Charlton TV caught up with him yesterday.
Matt, a belated welcome to Charlton. How pleased are you to be a Charlton player?
Yeah, delighted. Like I say, it's been a crazy couple of days, especially end of last week. But yeah, delighted to finally get it all done and get settled now and get into football.
How would you put it into words the last few days? Because we did I'd say a pretty good job of keeping your signing under wraps, and then obviously the game at Peterborough didn't happen. But how was it for you?
Crazy, bit of a whirlwind end of last week. All happened so quick. It was on and off and on for a while. So, yeah, like I said, just delighted to now finally get it all done and sorted. Try to get settled and yeah, look to kick on.
Going into Peterborough, so when the game was on, how difficult was that going to be for you, having one short training session and then going straight into a game environment?
Yeah, I think, like I say, I think it's tough to come down and meet the boys and then all of a sudden we're into a game on the weekend, so it was more excitement. Obviously, I knew a few of the boys, which helped. But yeah, I think it was just more excited to get out there and play. But obviously, it wasn't meant to be. So yeah, quickly our focus changes now to Bolton this Saturday.
Is it, in some ways for you, is it helpful to have a full week before that first game does come?
Yeah, of course. Like the Peterborough game was frustrating. Like a crazy couple of days and a lot of travelling. But yeah, nah, it's good this week that I get a full training week to work with the manager and the boys and get used to everything and get comfortable and get some good training minutes into our legs.
You know a few of the lads, have you said, Sean from Sheffield Wednesday, Scott and Macca from Ipswich. How have you found settling thus far?
Yeah, those boys, like I said, those boys have been brilliant with me. Spoke to Scotty and Sean before I even come. Just a few little chats here and there, which they were really good. And then since I've been here, they've been great. And then even the rest of the boys have all been really welcoming and helped me settle. So yeah, hopefully could build relationships and it'll show on the pitch and hopefully push us up the league.
I think you're in your final 6 months of your deal at Ipswich. What does this move present to you? Like, how important is it for you, this move?
Yeah, of course it's important. I think every game in football is important. There's always someone watching, so you never know what can come from any game. But for me, it's just about doing the best I can on the pitch and every day in training. Keep improving every day, keep helping the team, and then what will be will be. We'll see what happens in the summer. But my thoughts are just work hard every day and do the best I can to help the team.
You spent the first half of this season up in Scotland with Motherwell. Are you joining us fit and ready and set to play?
Yeah, fully fit and no injuries all season, touch wood. But yeah, no raring to go and can't wait to get started.
And for Charlton fans who haven't seen you played before. What type of player is Matt Penny?
I say I give lots of energy, lots of work rate for the team. Left-footed, full-back or wing-back. Yeah, hopefully I can help keep clean sheets, score goals, get assists. But yeah, I should see a lot of me up and down the line, so yeah, I'm excited.
And as we said a moment ago, first half of this season up in Scotland, prior to that Ipswich, Sheffield Wednesday. You also had a short spell out in Germany. How much did you enjoy that and what did you learn from that?
Yeah, again, like I say, Germany was crazy in itself. I think it was a massive learning curve for me and great experience. It also fell in the COVID years when that struck, so I learned so much from my time over there, but even off the pitch it was great. There was a lot of life experiences and bits and bobs, but yeah, it's made me who I am today, and I loved every minute of it.
Why did you decide to go for that temporary switch to Germany?
I've always said I'd love to go play abroad, go play in Europe, and when the opportunity arose and an old manager come in for me, it was a bit of a no-brainer. Things at Sheffield was up and down, and I thought, might not get this chance again, so I just bit the bullet and went, and thankfully it was really good. Like, played lots of games and enjoyed it and went well, so yeah.
And coming back to present day, you're joining us when we've won 3 league games in a row, as we're in good form. How confident are you that we can keep that going against Bolton?
Yeah, the boys are on fire, so hopefully I can help that and add to the momentum. Like I say, Bolton's going to be a tough test of the weekend because they're doing well in themselves, but it's all about us and pushing up that table. So hopefully I can help on the pitch and do my best of my ability to help the team.
And how nice is it coming into a club and a training ground where there is a real positive feel at the moment?
Yeah, massive. I think nowadays the environment is huge in football. Everyone around the building's been great with me, very welcoming. Like I say, it's a positive environment. So yeah, everyone's thriving at the minute.
Very best of luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, very best of luck, Matt. And look, he spent the first half of the season on loan at Motherwell, although technically speaking he still is an Ipswich player. How important is it that we signed a left side defender?
Yeah, for balance reasons, I think very important. I mean, there will be other tactical reasons that I'm sure Dean's brought Matt in for, but certainly having a naturally left-footed player at left back makes perfect sense. I know we discussed that in here last time we were on, and I know Dean was keen to get that balance. And we'll see what the game brings. I always say no one's going to do an interview and say they're not very good, are they? So, yeah. You know, you've got to produce on the day. Let's hope we can produce today.
I always hated that question though. Tell us your attributes. It's like,
Yeah.
well, no, you
signed
know that. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. But final 6 months of his contract at Ipswich, he's got a point to prove here, hasn't he?
It's
he's
nice
playing for a move.
Yeah, I mean, I always liked angry and hungry players. You know, he may be a little bit angry what's happened to him, that he's not made the grade at Ipswich and been out on loan. But if he impresses here, we may extend the contract.
Yeah.
So he's got an opportunity.
Absolutely. Let's remind ourselves, shall we, of the teams. It's 4 changes that's made from Dean today from the game 2 weeks ago, remember, against Barnsley. And you have to say, Bolton, they've got some very good players as well themselves, play a really good brand of football, don't they, Brownie?
Yeah, I mean, they've got this back 3, you know, so again, it's the wing-backs. Can we isolate those wing-backs? Can we get little 2v1s on in the wider areas and force them back into a back 5 and try and pin them in? And if they're on top of the game, which is why they play a possession-based game, is so that, you know, they can get those wing-backs nice and high. But their midfield's very, very important. You know, they keep the ball very, very well, good rotational patterns, and you know, we need to affect that, getting amongst it, try and win the ball high up, as I've said. But yeah, tough job today. This is a good Bolton side. I mean, Bolton are a good side.
Yeah, absolutely. Dean Charles was sent off, but obviously mistaken identity, so he does play. Shola Shatori as well. He's on loan for Manchester United. Conor Bradley is the main guy on loan from Liverpool, right wing back. So that's going to be an interesting battle down that side of things. Curbs, what are we expecting today then, really? You know, we haven't played for 2 weeks. Bolton played on Tuesday. Who does that favour physically?
Sometimes, yeah. I think Dean would have liked to have played at Peterborough last week, but he's now saying that he enjoyed the gap, that he's managed to get some more work done on and off the pitch, on and off the training ground. So, yeah, I think we'll be nice and fresh, that's for sure. And it's another marker, isn't it? It's another marker for us. We're playing against the top side in this division. You know, and I think it will be a massive confidence booster if we get the result.
Well, look, it's been a couple of weeks since we last played, but it is technically 3 straight league wins, so we are in good form. Let's hope we can carry that on today. The time to hand over to this afternoon's commentator, Terry Smith. Tell.
Thank you, Scott. Cheers, Curbs. Thanks, Brownie. And just myself here this afternoon on comms. So we have, sadly, Craig Stubley, our